Welcome to my journey of 100K cash in 100 days, the New Earth Entrepreneurial Way. My name is John Patrick Muller. I used to be a Buddhist monk, and in the last 5 years, I've had a business, a heart-centered online business, and what I'm doing, I got inspired to do a 100-day journey. So this is day one of this journey, where I'm going to be making a video like this every day and some short content too, and even some written content. I'm going to take the condensed notes, type them up, and they'll become a free email sequence, potentially even like an ebook or something. And so this is me documenting my journey to 100K cash in 100 days. Now, I took this goal because I was inspired by somebody else. They chose $1 million in about 6 months. And I thought, well, what would make more sense for me with where I'm at is 100K in 100 days cash. And it's something that I've done many years in a row. I've created 100K cash or more in my business, but I've never done it in a 100-day period of time before. And so it's something that I wanted to manifest. Actually, it came in as my new manifestation goal. And in one aspect, it felt like I wanted to do it faster than 100 days. And in another way, it's kind of fast. So I thought it was kind of a perfect goal. So if you're watching this, welcome. Follow along with me, and I'm going to document my journey. Now, my business isn't the one that I'm gonna, by posting this, it might create a following and it might create people who want to know more. But that's not my strategy for getting clients with this. Like, my strategy for growing my business is actually separate from these. In fact, I'm not even gonna post these until I'm about 20 days in, right? And so I'm gonna have a 20-day kind of lag time or head start, just to make sure that I get a lot of momentum before I start posting it. Because as you guys know, when you post, this is how I think. When you post videos like this and announce your new challenge, you get a lot of positive support, and it's very easy to kind of fall off track because you get too much gratification too fast and you can lose motivation. So for me, I want to stay tight to my mission. And so if you're watching this, it's at least 20 days since I started this journey. Okay. And so what I want to do right now is just go over some of the notes of how I'm dividing my day. I'm kind of splitting my day into 3 main chunks. I guess 4 if you count sleep. So there's kind of like 4 units of my day. And one of them is sleep. The other one, then there's morning, afternoon, and evening. And evening is the time where I'm going to be filming the content like this of what I did in my day, right? Pretty simple. And so let's get into it now, and I'll do the self-reflection last. Okay, so in the morning, what I'm going to be doing is meditation, deep work on my business, and any journaling about the journey, right? So I'm not going to be posting or publishing any content in the morning, but I have my journal, right? And I'm going to be taking notes because I want to get the details down so that later when I post, I can be very accurate and I can remember everything. Okay, so in the morning, there's 3 things. There's meditation, any deep work, probably on my own business. This is where I'm going to be implementing stuff on my business, is in the morning, and then journaling. In the afternoon, I'll be doing client work and client meetings, any coaching calls, client calls, and I have an agency where I build funnels and do copywriting for clients. I kind of like partner with them and help them to grow with a revenue share thing, which is going good. And I also, do copywriting and funnels and stuff. So I do client work in the afternoon. I also will be going to the gym every day. So this is a new thing for me, is going to the gym every single day. What happens for me is when I go to the gym, I feel so good. And then I want to go the next day. Like, I know I can. I leave some in the tank. Like, I don't totally exhaust myself at the gym. I could do more. But I leave before, I'll get into workout theory later, but I leave before I get too tired. And then the next day I'm like, oh, I should rest. And what happens is I start losing my motivation as the days pass where I'm not going, but I know I can, right? I'm still young. I'm like a young 38 right now, but I spend a lot of time at the temple. I did a lot of inner work, spiritual practice. I feel much younger than that. My like spiritual age is, of my body is quite young, I think. Definitely lower than 38. And so today I went to the gym, and I went yesterday too, and it felt so good to do it 2 days in a row. Like I was already warmed up. I kind of like was able to get right in, and I feel amazing. I feel literally better than ever right now in my body. And so I like this habit of going to the gym every day just to create the habit, because um, if I get out of the habit, then it's hard to kind of get back in. And so I'm going to be doing it as a daily habit. And even if I'm only there for 15 to 25 minutes, it still is a lot. It still helps me. And it's still really useful for me. So I'm going to go because of the habit thing. And then, and if you guys want some workout tips, I will be giving them at some point. And so then the third thing in the afternoon is posting about the journey. So in the first 20 days, I'm not doing this part, but after day 20, when I start to actually post, I'll be making the post in the afternoon from 20 days previous to that, right? So wherever I'm posting, wherever I'm going to be publishing this content, the video content, the written content, the short form content, the LinkedIn content, whatever it is, I'll be kind of taking a chunk of time to do all those posts in the afternoon. So those are my 3 afternoon tasks: client works and client meetings, coaching calls, the gym, and posting about the journey. Okay. And in the evening, I'm going to be creating this video, right? Creating the long form content, the YouTube videos or whatever, creating the short form content, and then creating the written content, right? So the written content would be, like I said, there's an email sequence that people can opt in for. If you want, you can have it. It's free. And it's like the Cliff Notes version. And I think I'll probably link to these YouTube videos so that if someone wants to like keep in touch with it, they can easily just get it into their inbox for 100 days. Might be fun. And that would be the basis of a book. I'm probably going to create like an ebook or a book out of this 100-day journey. So if you want the free written copy, opt in for the email sequence. And if you want to pay for it, then you can buy the book. You can do both. Okay. And so then those are my 3 categories of morning, afternoon, and evening. And then I have a few miscellaneous things. So the miscellaneous tasks that I need to do are to eat. I need to spend time with my wife every day. I need to plan for the next day. I need to sleep. And then there's a couple more things. So any self-reflection that I will be doing, I'm going to be sharing about this in the video, any self-reflection, and also in my notebook. And I'm kind of keeping myself accountable for a random act of kindness every day. And so the cool thing about having to document it and post about it and kind of journal about it every evening is that if I know I have to do it, I'll remember during the day to do a random act of kindness. Now today, I didn't actually really remember too much, but I did a little bit of kind things today, which I'll get into. But because I feel that little sting of like, oh, I don't have anything good to say about this, it'll inspire me to like remember tomorrow. That's the benefit of accountability. If you guys don't have an accountability system in your life, it can actually help a lot. We're like, humans aren't meant to do anything alone. Like, we've thrived for millions of years or thousands or whatever it is, in groups, in tribes, in communities. And so the way to bring out the best in a person is put them in a group of great people. And if you're in any sort of community, the accountability to the community itself will help to kind of keep you on track and bring out good things. So anyway, that's kind of cool. And there may be other random stuff that I share, but those are the main categories here. Okay, and so I want to make this video interesting for you guys, but in terms of like, so I guess the part that you guys are probably following besides, I think actually the routine is interesting. Like, a lot of online heart-centered entrepreneurs, new earth entrepreneurs, right? New earth empire builders, if you will. A lot of us, we actually need a little bit more structure in our life. My teacher shared something with me a while ago. I think he shared it. If not, it's my words, but I'm sounding like him. It was like there's two kinds of people in the world: those who love structure and those who don't know they love structure, right? Everybody loves structure, but we just need the right amount. We don't want an oppressive amount of structure. We need light structure, but we also need to improve our relationship with structure, because through having external structure and leaning on it and utilizing it and respecting it and appreciating it and sort of honoring it and taking action within it, it actually becomes internalized. And we then have this internal structure, which means that you can then provide structure for others, which is another way of saying you are developing and utilizing your masculine side, I think. Right? The feminine side is the one that flows, I think, within the structure. The creativity, it flows within the structure. And because of societal, programming and our own traumas and so the stories around incidents in our life, a lot of us have a bad relationship with anything that's masculine and anything that's sort of authoritarian or anything that's too structured. And this is something that we honestly do need to improve, because if we don't, then our energy becomes like a swamp. Meaning, think about water with no structure. It's a swamp. It actually gets stagnant, and it might go in different places, but it spreads too thin and it just kind of evaporates. And if you're an online entrepreneur, especially online, I think, there's just so many things that we could be doing, and we may be very creative and our energy might be going in a bunch of places. And what happens is we end up running out of energy, and we might look back and realize I haven't really gotten anywhere. My business isn't really any different than it was 6 months ago or 18 months ago. I might have new ideas. I may have things that I started. I may have a vision that feels more clear or more palpable, but I haven't really gotten farther. And why is that? Sometimes it's because we don't have, we can say, enough structure. But another way of saying it is our energy is standing still. It's not being guided anywhere. It's either going into too many places or it's staying too still. And what we need is the perfect amount of structure and space. We need to find the balance between structure and space, or structure and creativity. And the balance looks like a river. A river has a river bank, or bank, I guess, is the sides of the river. And that is structure, isn't it? It keeps the water flowing in the channel, right? Our body is made up of these channels. They call it rivers of light. One of my teachers years ago said that we have 72,000 rivers of light flowing throughout our body. And it's interesting that was not Buddhism. But then when I got into Buddhism, they said we had 72,000 channels, and energy wind flowing through our channels, literally the same exact number. They're the same thing, right? And so, yes, we have our whole subtle body, our whole consciousness, and how it's mounted into this body is based on channels. So our whole spiritual growth is based on energy, our mind, and the channels, the subtle energy channels. That's what chakras are, right? Chakra means channel wheel. Right? A chakra isn't a vortex of energy. Like, that's what, maybe there are some, but the actual meaning of the word chakra means channel wheel. Okay, so we have all these channels, and the channels intersect with each other. And yes, there may be hot spots, you could say, and there's places that you can enter into the channels, but that's what we're made of, right? And for a person to say, oh, I don't like channels, right? I just want to flow. I don't want a channel to flow in. You're basically denying your own existence. You're saying, oh, the way I was created is worse than what I want to do. Like, I want to just have energy and no channel, right? Well, maybe you're not going to get to where you're really supposed to go if you do that, right? And so we need to embrace having some structure, just some, right? For me, because I was a monk and because of who I am, I may thrive with slightly more structure than some other people. And so the amount of structure that feels balanced for me might be slightly higher than most, but everybody needs some, right? And a simple amount of structure, if you're looking for this, is just to have 3 things per day. They don't have to be spiritual and they don't have to be business. They could be a little bit of both, or they could be other just random physical 3D things, right? Just have 3 things that you want to get done today. That's really it. And later I'm going to talk about 6. I'm going to say that there's 6 things that you can add to your sort of to-do list. And I actually got a blessing when this came to me today. And so when I was reflecting on this in the morning, and so I really believe that there could be 6 things that we focus on every day, 6 daily actions. But for now, let's just say it's 3, right? If you have 3 things that you're going to do today, maybe one's spiritual, maybe one's business, maybe one's random, let's just say, right? That gives you something. It gives you something to flow towards, right? And if you learn to set up your day, learning to set up your day is like learning to set up your channel, right? I will often tell people and myself, we need to be a master of time and space. We need to become a master of our own time and our own space. Because why? What is 3D? Basically, it's time and space, isn't it? Right? And so if we can create our day and our environment, our schedule essentially, our schedule and our environment to be conducive to our flow, to help us go where we want to go and to not create friction for us, we will flow better, faster, more efficiently, with less energy, and we'll get there and we'll find it easy and we'll keep flowing and we'll be going with higher speed. And so this requires us to, master it for ourselves. We need to become a leader for ourselves, right? Deciding, here's what my day is going to look like with some degree of clarity, right? And then trying to implement it with some degree of flexibility. We need flexibility too, which I'll get to. But the other side of it is learning to have conversations with people in our life, such as, so with me and my wife, like I live with my wife. She's a beautiful, Moroccan woman. She's only 23 years old. She's never, she's never lived away from her parents before. And so a lot of this is new for her. And I'm finding that I have to have conversations with her about how she can support me to be more effective in my work. She wants to support me. And so I've been just having more and more conversations. Here's a couple of things you can do to support me to be more effective, right? And she listens and she tries and she's making a lot of progress and it's actually going really well. I think that this isn't about her, but she's trying and it's going well. She's doing great and it's getting better and better. And in turn, that makes it so easy. I'm finding myself having an easy time to flow within text. Now I have to motivate myself too. I have to lead myself too. It's not just about other people. I have to lead myself, but as I'm leading myself to flow, I can help to set up my environment, which includes other people, and my day to have less friction. And that'll be rewarding. That'll be fun. And so I do believe that if you're watching this, maybe there's, to some degree, you can learn a little bit about productivity and structure and flow so that you can get more done and see your vision manifest faster, right? Why wait 10 years or 15 years or 20 years or 30 years for your 5-year vision to manifest? What if your 5-year vision could be manifested in 18 months or 2 years or 6 months, right? It's like how beautiful is that channel? How tight is that channel, right? And how well can we flow within it and not flow other places, right? And so just to finish the analogy of structure space, the river, Too much structure feels like a dam. It feels like oppressive. There's too much, and we sort of, I know this feeling very well, where we just kind of get tight and we just stop flowing. Our creativity stops. Now, this, if you know what a dam looks like, it stops the water, right? And the water will try to get out in a different way. If you find that you always get distracted and that whatever you want to focus on, you end up focusing on other things. Your energy is always going to new ideas, new ideas. It's probably because you have too much structure around the thing that you want to be doing, right? It's like, here's the path, but there's so much structure that you can't flow in it. And so your energy is seeking to go around. Does that make sense? That's not always like, it's not like, there's not like something wrong with you. It's not like, oh, this is just who you are. It's not really a personality trait. It's a symptom of having too much structure or control or sort of expectation around the path ahead, right? We may have put too much on our plate. We're expecting too much of ourselves. We're trying to manage other people's expectations of us or our own imagined other people's expectations of us. They don't even necessarily have them, but we're navigating around things that don't exist, what we think people expect of us, right? And this also happens if we try to do too much, right? If we try to set up our daily schedule, for example, we have a to-do list, we set up our day, we try to, okay, I'm going to be more structured. And what happens is, we, like this, you may be like me, although I did a pretty good job with this, but in the past, what I have done is I put too much structure. And it feels like a wall. And then I find it, I just kind of get small and I feel constricted, right? And I can't flow. And that doesn't last very long. And so what most people do is they throw the whole thing away. They say, oh, you know what? I don't do well with structure. And then we're like, I'm just going to flow. And it feels good in the short term because we have relief. We're experiencing relief of the too much structure. But what we actually need is the balance. That relief, what happens is we let it out, but then the energy doesn't go anywhere. It still doesn't go anywhere, or it spreads too thin and goes nowhere, right? And so we need to be humble in how we set structure for ourselves. We need to be humble and flexible. We have to honor ourselves as being a real human and not a robot. My teacher said, are you setting yourself a daily schedule that only a robot could do? And everybody in the temple who was listening laughed because they all could relate. At least I could relate because I did that. I would have 20 things. I'm going to do this meditation and this one, right? What he teaches that I find really helpful is schedule a bit less. You can always do more, right? And so I'll give you an example. This morning in my meditation, and let me be honest for a second, I don't meditate nearly as much as I used to. When I was at the temple, I had a daily practice of meditating somewhere between 30 minutes and like 3 hours a day on like a normal day. Any normal day, if I had a quick rushed thing, if I was busy, maybe 30 minutes or an hour. Sometimes like 75 or 90 minutes would be like really good. And then other days when I was more in flow, if I had more free time, I would do like 3, maybe 4 hours of meditation on that day. And that's good. That's a really strong practice. And on retreat days and when we had events, I would meditate maybe 8 to 10 hours on some of those days, or 6 hours. But I'm not like that anymore. And so I can admit that I don't even meditate an hour a day anymore. It's usually a lot less. And so getting back into this habit, I know is helpful for me. Meditation helps me reach my spiritual goals. And so I've included it in my morning practice. And by the way, for those of you who are like, yeah, I can relate to that. I don't always meditate. And it's tempting to just focus a lot on business. Although what I found today is I was a lot more productive with business than I am usually, probably because I meditated a lot today. But when I did meditate, I didn't tell myself I need to meditate an hour or more. I didn't say that to myself. All I told myself is that I need to do a bit of meditation on my personal practice and then a bit of meditation on my manifestation practice specifically around this goal, right? So obviously I'm documenting this journey. I have this goal. It's a real goal and I'm going to get there. And so I have a little manifestation practice that I do, but I don't want my spiritual practice to just be manifestation. That can get superficial. You can kind of lose the plot if you do that. And so I want to also honor and really go deeper with my own like personal spiritual practice. And instead of going into details on what that is, I'll just say like, you have one. Like everybody has their own personal spiritual practice, whatever that is for you. Even if you're new to spiritual practice, you can still like watch Tony Robbins and Joe Dispenza. Tony Robbins has the priming practice, which is great. Joe Dispenza teaches things. You can watch guided YouTube videos. It's great, right? So anything like this, that is set around spiritual goals, right? And just becoming a better human by growing within. We can call that your personal practice. And anything around manifestation you can call is a manifestation practice, right? And so I told myself I would do 15 minutes of each, basically with a short break in between. Now, I ended up doing about, what did I do? I did an hour. Did I do an hour? I did about an hour of my personal practice. I did about 45 minutes. I did 45 minutes of my own personal practice today, which is cool. And I did, what did I do? I did about 30 minutes of manifestation. So it ended up being about an hour and 20 minutes of meditation. But the thing is, I didn't tell myself I had to. On the days where I tell myself I have to do that much, it creates a blockage and I find it difficult these days. So if you're watching this, you can resonate with this. Instead of setting the bar this high and saying you have to jump over it, even though it's very hard, set the bar low and just get into the flow, right? And so if you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do a 15-minute meditation on this and a 15-minute meditation on this. Perfect, right? How could you go wrong? And so, but while you're in it, you might be enjoying it and you're always free to do more. This is a beautiful practice if you're looking to get more done. For example, another way I just did this is I did some client work. I'm building a landing page, like an opt-in page for a client's project. She's offering a free course on Ayurveda. An 8-week course is actually really, really great. You guys should all go get it. She's a master of Ayurveda healing and self-care. And so we put together the marketing details of this free course. And so I'm building the landing page. And I told myself, you know what? I'm just going to do an hour, right? I'm just going to, or at least I'm just going to get it started. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to get it started. I'm going to get a bit done because we had it all planned already. And I ended up working on it for probably a little bit over an hour, but I got it almost done. And I didn't set the bar super high. I didn't say I have to finish this today because that feels oppressive. It feels like so much that it's hard to even get it started. If you set the bar low, like I'm just gonna work on it for at least 30 minutes, maybe 45 and make some progress. You can do that with your own goals, whatever your own goals are. Just like, schedule a bit of it and get yourself in the flow. And when you're in there, you can decide if you want to stay longer or not. And usually when you're in the middle of a flow state, there's not a lot of friction. There's less resistance. We might find some enjoyment. We feel internally rewarded because of the progress, right? And it's like, oh, that wasn't that hard, right? The fear is gone, and we're just in flow, and we're cruising, right? If you take a boulder and you get it rolling, it's easy to keep it rolling. But if you try to get the boulder to start rolling, very, very hard. In the same way, it's harder to get ourselves to sit down and start something. That's the hardest part. We're like the big boulder. There's all this resistance within us, right? But if you just if you just make the boulder smaller and get it rolling, you can easily keep it rolling and you can increase its size as you go, right? You can decide, oh, you know what, I'll stay longer. That's like increasing its size, okay? So I hope this is helpful. I do suggest to set up your day kind of like this. I think this is useful if you have multiple projects you're working on, especially. For some people, if you're watching this and you're the lucky ones, which is sometimes it's me, where you really only have one main focus, right? Maybe if you're watching this, you have one thing and you get to go into the cave, you get to go into the cubby hole and just like close off to the world and just do one thing until it's done. Hey, that's great. And occasionally I can do that for short periods of time. I can take a holiday off, I can take a long weekend and do that. But this is something I need to sustain every single day for 100 days. And if you're watching this, there's a lot of work that you can do during the week every day on like normal days. And so it's helpful for me to divide my day into 3 chunks. That way I know that in the morning chunk, I'm aiming to do certain things. In the middle chunk is another couple things. In the evening, a couple other things. That way I know that I have time for something. And at any given moment, I know what I should focus on. I don't just like sit around like, what should I do? I'm like, oh, it's this time. This is what I need to do, right? Now, in full transparency, I didn't even get to like some of my deeper client work until just like an hour or 2 ago, because I had other things come up, right? And so Jeff Bezos talks about something really beautiful, right? Being very stubborn with the vision, but extremely flexible with your implementation, right? We need to be extremely, like, you can hold that vision with kind of relentlessness. Like, I'll never give up on this. Like, I'll never waver from this at all, right? But then you have to be flexible in how you manage yourself and how you manage things that come up. And so a good analogy that comes from my teacher for this, that I've been thinking of myself today, is like having a boat that's floating on the surface of the water and there's a rope to it and the rope is tied to an anchor, right? And so that's how I feel, right? So my plan for the day that I wrote out ahead of time, I have a little plan, as you know. The morning is this, the afternoon is this, the evening is this, right? That's my plan. And so the plan is the boat. It's floating on the surface, right? It's like, that's what I'm going to be doing. And then in my day, I need to be flexible. And so the way I actually implement it is flexible. The rope is always moving. The rope is like following the boat, right? It's connected. And so that's how I felt today. It's like, I'm like trying to like stick to the vision, but I'm also trying to like anchor it into the here and now. And then finally, the anchor for me is what I actually did, right? So like in the morning, I wrote, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then afterwards, I wrote down, this is what I actually did. The anchor was like, I did it, right? And then the rope was me attempting to do what I said I was going to do, or more. In some cases, I did more than what I said I was going to do. And the vision was like, anyway, I hope that analogy works for you. It in the moment, it felt like it was working for me. And so anyway, the point is being flexible with your implementation. Don't throw away the plan just because it didn't go according to plan. Like your day is always going to be flexible. You have to navigate what comes up, right? I didn't know that in the morning my wife was going to want to talk to me about something that I didn't think we're going to talk about till later, right? And so we spent like an hour talking about something in the morning, which then I had to push an activity into a little bit later, right? I didn't get started until an hour later. And other things came up too. And so speaking of my wife, just to kind of let you in on the details, because that's part of my little plan is every day I need to spend time with her or else, what's going to happen? I can't say I'm holding together my life and my marriage very well if that part falls apart. It's important to me. And so one thing that we're working on is getting her visa approved for her to come back and live with in the US with me. I live in Morocco with her now. We live by ourselves in Morocco, in Casablanca, Morocco. And I've been living in Morocco for almost 18 months actually with her. First with her family, and then we've been living on our own for almost a year, I would say. Almost a year. And it's been really, really good. And yeah, our marriage is amazing. We have amazing breakthroughs constantly in our communication. I'll go into that sometime. But what we're working on is we're getting affidavits from people that say they know us and that we are a real couple. And we were discussing that earlier and blah, blah, blah. The conversations happened, and then we had to put an effort into that. And it's good. It's growth for us. It's us working together as a team on something, which is cool. Anyway, don't want to bore you with that. What else can I say? I feel really, really, really good. Going to the gym every day does serve me. Oh yeah. So if you're watching this, you probably want to know about my actual business plan. Sorry that I didn't get to it too much. I will be going into the business strategies that I'm using a lot more as I do them more. But in my meditation, in my manifestation meditation that I did, the three main actions for me to take came through. Number one, help my clients. That's the first business strategy that always works. Like, help my clients more. When I help my clients more, everything goes good, right? I feel good. I feel confident. They feel good. They feel like they're growing. They get results. I publish those results and I get more clients, right? And so helping my clients is the top item on my list of how I'm going to get to the 100K months, right? Or 100K cash right now. Like, that's my actual first item right now. The second item is make more offers. Like, and obviously if I make more offers, then I will get more clients and get more cash, right? And the third one is get more leads. So those might seem basic, but it came through my meditation as like three main focuses. And the way that sort of implemented, that I realized I needed to implement was, I have a really cool mastermind offer that I'm putting more effort into. And so I filmed a couple videos for it that sort of bring collaborators in and bring new clients in. So I filmed the videos, which came out really good. I've already finished the funnels for this basically, but I didn't finish the email sequence entirely. So I gotta put it together. And so if I want more clients, I need a way of doing that, right? So the funnel for me is part of making more offers. Making more offers and getting my funnel fully kind of set is kind of, they go hand in hand. At least in this moment, that's the prerequisite for me to make more offers, is to have the funnel ready. Okay, so getting that ready, I've been focusing on that, and I will focus more on that tomorrow. And then the getting more leads thing, the way I'm expressing that today is with this video, even though this won't get published for a while. That's how I'm mentally knowing that I'm accomplishing that goal of getting more leads, is by focusing on this type of content, because I know in the long run, this type of content will be useful for me in my business. Okay, but in other days, the way I'll be getting more leads is actually working the social media platforms, publishing stuff, not necessarily this. I'm publishing like the normal content that I would normally do and trying to set appointments probably. I'll be setting appointments and I'll be giving away free class passes. That's my new offer for my mastermind, is like, come and enjoy one free class. If you want to come to one free class, if you are a New Earth Angel or online entrepreneur, like a New Earth online entrepreneur, we call it a New Earth Angel. It means that you use your own spiritual gifts to help yourselves and others, and you've even made a business out of your spiritual gifts, or you want to. That, for me, that's what a New Earth Angel is. And obviously an entrepreneur is someone who's taking that kind of seriously and trying to really build their business. Also, we call it an empire builder, New Earth Empire Builders, right? So that's who the mastermind is for. And if you're watching this and if you want to come to a free class, you're very welcome to come to a free class pass, really check it out. It's a hot seat mastermind. It is the most unique style of doing hot seats that I've ever seen. It's really beautiful. I learned it in various places, including teacher training program at Temple. It's a beautiful process where there's no hierarchy at all. We're all on the same level. There's no coaches and there's no students. We're all the coaches and we're all the students, right? And we all just have the medicine for each other, and we create an environment where it's easy to support each other. And you can come and check it out if you want. And if you want to join, you are welcome to as well. And you can find out more about that when you opt in. Okay, so we'll put that link below. But yeah, so normally the way I'm going to be getting more leads and making more offers is by giving away the free class pass and sort of, inviting the other members to also give away a free class pass. That's one of the cool parts, is everyone who's a member gets to also be an affiliate, and they get to be a 50% affiliate. And so they can give away free class passes to their audience. And when people come, if they join, they get 50% of the sale. And so if you're watching this and you want to be part of it, if you want to be a member, especially when you're a member, you can also invite people to it, and you can get 50% as well of everyone that comes through you. And you don't even have to commit to showing up to the calls. You can still get 50%. It's very cool way to do business. So, and the thing is that we are co-creating the offer. It's a co-created offer. It's not like John's offer. It's a beautiful co-created offer. I just know how to lay the structure and to set the structure for it, and I know how to facilitate it. I'm a facilitator, like the conductor of the orchestra, but everyone who's there, who's got the wisdom and the medicine, they're like the instruments. And I know how to make a symphony where the person in the hot seat gets everything they need. So it's really, really special and beautiful. You're very welcome to come, but that was not why I'm doing this video. But that is what I worked on today, and that is going to be my strategy of how to essentially make more offers and get more leads. It's not a high ticket offer. It's kind of medium, I would say. It's more of like a medium ticket offer. It's not high. It's not super low. And so I'll probably be implementing a 10 or 12K offer as well, which is more of a high ticket offer. And I'll be doing as well a sort of 25K offer too, for people who want done for you funnels. And so the 10K offer is going to be one-to-one coaching with me, and where I can work on your copywriting with you. I can help you with your business one-to-one, and you can get help from other collaborators in the program as well. There's amazing other coaches here who are helping you too. So you get one-to-ones with us, and my specialty is probably the messaging, the copywriting, some of the business strategy. I'm really good at a lot of those things. So I've helped people have 20 and 30 and 50K months. And so we can do it one-to-one. You'll go faster, or you can join the mastermind, which is a different experience. Everyone in the one-to-one gets the mastermind. You kind of need that too. It's really special. And the 25K is going to be building funnels and stuff. So with those 3 offers, all for New Earth Angels and kind of New Earth Empire builders, New Earth entrepreneurs, it should be pretty straightforward. The math works to get to 100K cash in 100 days. It shouldn't be that hard. My weakness, personally, my actual weakness, is that I'm very usually comfortable with people joining payment plans, and I usually make very accessible payment plans. And that means that I don't always collect a lot of cash up front. So I'm saying this, and so I don't know if I'm going to change that. I probably won't be changing that. And so I'm trying to figure out, I guess, well, I'm setting the intention for that when people start joining, I guess we'll be incentivizing, maybe offering slight discounts if people pay in full. And if a bunch of people pay in full, I should be able to get to 100K cash pretty fast, depending on which offer they join. But either way, making recurring revenue is great too. The side mission of this would also be to have 100K monthly recurring revenue. That would be even more special, right? To get to monthly recurring revenue, meaning people on payment plans who are in my offers automatically, like every month, it's 100K cash. That would be the next level of this. And I don't know if I'll get there in 100 days, but maybe in 6 months, maybe in 8 months, right? And so I don't mind people on payment. I actually really like it when people are on payment plans. But my challenge here is, if the goal is 100K cash in 100 days, I need a few big pay in fulls to come through to really make that happen, I think. Or just so many people on the payment plan, which would be really cool too. Anyway, and so that's basically it. What else can I say? My wife cooked. I've been encouraging my wife to cook more. And kind of, I've been encouraging her to like, hey, like, here's how you can support me. Don't make me plan your meals. Like, don't make me ask for it. Don't make me wait till I'm really hungry before you start cooking. Like, on certain days, what you can do is just figure out what you want to cook, go to the store, buy everything with obviously my money or our money that I make. And then she buys it, come back home, cook it. And look, I'm going to be so happy. And she did that today. It's one of the first days actually that she's done that without any input from me. I often have to ask her, hey, can you cook today? Or I'll have to help her plan what she's going to cook, or I might have to go to the store and buy stuff. Today she did everything, and it was done right when I got back from the gym. So it was like perfect timing. And so that was the result of many difficult conversations. I had many difficult conversations with her that were hard, and I expressed lots of love for her too, but I had to really tell her, like, look, I need support. I need you to make this easy for me. If I'm always thinking about cooking and all that stuff, like, I'm not going to be as effective in my work. And that my work is how we support ourselves, right? Like, don't you want us to get really far with that? Like, just help out. Like, I shouldn't cook more than you, right? And so that is that. What else? Yeah, so I think that's probably good for today. There's more that I could talk about, but I think that's pretty good. Any self-reflections? The gym every day is really good for me. My random kindness. I did leave some tips for people. When I bought fruit and stuff, I gave extra money, which is kind of cool. My wife drew a beautiful drawing, and I set it as my Facebook kind of cover photo, which she really loved. We've been making progress getting our affidavits from people. And so I know this video is talking about a lot of things, but I think the lifestyle and how we structure the whole life is actually really attractive to learn about, because it's something a lot of people don't talk about, and there's some mastery that's happening here that I think would be useful for you guys. But as I keep going, I will get more into business strategy. I know that's what you guys want. So this was day one. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm about to make like 6 reels just to kind of give the condensed version, just so I can put it on a short form platform too. If you want, please do opt in for the emails. If you want to go get the Ayurvedic course that I mentioned, you can opt in for one of my clients' courses. And if you want a free class pass to our mastermind, please do. I will put all those links below. All right, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.